Welcome back to Wayne's Garage. This video we're going to get there and get in and do part 2 on doing up the lower section of the left hand guard inner. So I'll go through, explain more about these rear spares ones and the difference between my test piece and my homemade tool. So stay tuned. So what I've done is this is the section and that, and this is the shitty top half that is supposed to go on there. So I've cut it off, and that because it all needs to move over this way. So if you look, there's the line, so this section will have to move over this way. So what I'm going to have to do is keep trimming this. So I've gone along and I've trimmed a bit more of this up, a little bit more coming this way, because at this point it comes down to here and then it flattens in and then comes back up into here. So what I've done is I've tried to line up this section here a bit, coming down through here. If you look carefully, because I've come over and I've basically got this kind of, because this panel here was way out, this is a little bit off, but if I can basically be able to make a bit to roll down into there and that, and move it over a bit. So if you look down, try to line this recycled part of the panel that I bought down in line with the original. So I'll just zoom in a little bit, and that down in line with this original bit. So then when I flip it over, I'm going to nip this through a bit to probably yay far up here on the front side, so then I can move this section here over about 5mm to line up this outer hole with this inner hole. So for me to be able to work that out, I'll probably have to put it back on the car over there and work it out on where to cut it, and I'll run a bit of tape going down and that, because I'm hoping by just using the thickness of the disc, then I can move it over a little bit at a time until this gives me a bit more door gap. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. So I'm going to look at cutting down and out through here to be able to put this piece in this section here. I do want to define that line in a little bit, and that, but we'll see what happens when I cut the other one out. Just got to be very careful. I might have to use the little air die grinder over there and trim along here and then trim this bit out. So excuse me. But I'll take it off. Sorry about the bad camera work. I'll take it off and see what I can do I might not have to cut all the way up here. I may be able to cut it down here somewhere and then line it up with this bit, and then just remake this bit here, and then this little bit up to there. So yeah, so anyway, I'll get back to you shortly. So, as you can tell, I've gone along and I've cut this section out that was rusty, which was in there. I've had to nick a little bit of the outer lip here, but that's okay, it can be welded up. And I've had to weld through this section here and that to be able to cut this section here out. So we've gotten that bit out. You can see this bit here is still good, and that, so this will fit down in here and clamp into place, and that there. So then I can weld this section here in, and that, and then once that's clamped in and that, then I can look at, well, I'll nick that out, and I might just bridge this bit here and get a little bit of scrap, which I've got, and I'll put into here, and that to give me that little section in there. So yeah, so I'll be back shortly. So I've just ducked down, grabbed myself a pie and a sausage roll for dinner and a drink. So, what do they say? Poor man's dinner. So anyway, I'm going to have this bite to eat, and then I'll get in and clamp this panel down, and I will start welding it in. So back soon. Couple of little holes. I'm gonna have to either turn the motor down or something. But yeah, I'm going to probably leave this section here a little high, and that, I've got nothing I can get in there to clean that out any further. It is all tacked, and that I'll go sit it on the car, and I'll see if I can pie slice this with the cutting wheel on the outside. Go along the outside. See, I was initially going to go this way, but as you can see, the hole doesn't line up. So if I cut it down this way, just below the hole, then I should be able to move the hole and the lip over the 5mm and be able to finish off this section here. Got to drill a hole in that one and that, and then I'll trim that off as well. I won't need that there. And yeah, so anyway. So it's not finished yet. I've gone along and just tacked a little bit more up in this area here, and a few little infection holes in through here, and I'll try and clean that up a bit more. And that I did come over here to try and fix a hole, but the metal is a little thin, so I've just turned the welder down a bit so I can try and basically bridge and tack weld this whole area back in, and that, so I didn't have to recut it, because see, it went down and around up into here, so it was a little thin in that area. So I'll clean that back down, and then when it comes time to it, I'll make a little bit of seam sealer up down over the backing over here and down along the back of the back weld here, and then I will make this little patch up here, and then we'll weld that in and that into that section there. And then I'll stick it back on the car, and then once again, sorry about the camera work, we will look at either if we cut it here, let's see, because I want to keep the hole, it's on the outside of this panel, so I'm going to look at moving the line over this way a little, and then bring it down here and that into here. I'll cut it on a slight little angle, so then when I move it across, it should line the hole back up, and then I'll be able to get the hammer and dolly and go over and hammer this back, measure it up there, and I should be able to fold it over and have a nice seam, nice gap with this over this way for the door, because it's not quite right. So yeah, so I've gone and lined up this panel with this panel here. So yeah, so I'll finish cleaning all that up, and I will get in and make this little patch, and I'll be back and we'll weld that bit in. One here. So yeah, that's the end of part 2. I'll do a third part where I put the car back, where I put the guard back onto the car, and I'll set the phone up to look at the door gap, and you'll be able to see what I mean by having to trim the section out and then move that bolt hole across, so then I can actually go along and then hammer and dolly the lip over. And that, so yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Sorry this one's probably a bit of a long video, and that, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. please like, subscribe, share, jump over to Instagram, jump over to my Facebook page. Now my Facebook page is based around the business now, not just the YouTube channel, but I share things on there as well. But most of my sharing for the channel is done through Instagram. I did start Twitter and that, but it's lacking, so everything's now uploaded and shared through Instagram. So please jump over, like, follow me on Instagram, like, subscribe, share, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, at the end of the video I will do a bit of a few shout outs and that. So yeah, so we will see you on the next part. So it'll be part 3, fitting the guard and checking the door gap on the car. So yeah, anyway, thanks again, stay tuned, until next time, stay safe and keep your upside down. Cheerio.